Just a
So I
decision to make
went.
Do their job.
What do you do?
Well, I'm not gonna hack that right away. So see, they even.
And the benefit of the doubt there is if you go out and they're framing on a house, then that's different. But
Yeah, no,
if-
I got there before it started, so it's okay, but.
So do you think the putting that in the paper is,
Yeah, because this person had built once before and called it after he put the cement.
Hmm.
So this is the second project, so I was really trying to help him out to get there, so.
so by the way, somebody asked me about just a machine shed on a farm.
It works.
Is that under the commercial deal or is that under?
It's under ag, unless he's
Yes.
building a commercial business.
Right,
Is he running
well,
a commercial business out of the shed?
no, I think it's
No.
for the combine,
No,
so
it's just an agricultural shed and it still qualifies.
I, it was, but they said, oh, I can't believe that. That's been in place for a long time.
This is our second one, so yeah, about 7, 8 years,
Yeah.
but yeah, anything qualifies, almost anything qualifies, so.
Well, Grain Bed does,
Grain Run's a different program.
but it has some type of,
Yes,
Oh,
it
yeah.
has an
Only
8-year
if it's
exemption.
new.
right,
It's gonna be different.
yeah.
You
So
need
when
to
you're
buy out of
starting
the
your own
county.
Yeah,
was
well,
your
that was a
problem.
different one, yeah. It was close, yeah,
Don't live in Nebraska. But yeah,
yeah.
but yes, they do qualify. Yeah, I can think of who it was, send them my way,
Yeah,
if they haven't started.
well, that's what I thought, what have you done? Well, I don't think they had lifted a finger yet, just thinking about something.
And a lot of people are thinking, and they're kind of waiting for building prices, lumber prices to go down and stuff, so.
Mhm. Yeah.
it's going. So,
Okay.
thank you
Thanks,
guys, have a
Betty.
good day.
You bet.
No action taken as a result of the executive session, Madam Secretary. Oh, boy, here's our, getting our cars.
Oh, yeah.
I bet if I just go show this to Betty. Just for the fun of it. When we buy a new patrol car, that's how much it costs to change radios, decals, that's 2 of them. You could get in that business, Betty. No, thank you.
You didn't show the one for the workman's comp or the.
No, that's
Yeah,
right, that's right.
You might need to get a fan in here.
Well, I didn't know when I first had this seat, I had no idea that that's what it took. The big, the Topeka Police Department, they have their own department, that's all they do.
Yeah.
That still costs them money, if, they're paying an employee to do it, but they're doing them all the time. Is there any reason to get these pinks back over to Sandy necessarily?
I can see.
They don't let me tell you what to do, but.
Yeah, she might be wanting to work
Yeah.
on, thanks.
Good minute. something like that too. Well, I'm back to the budget for original calculation. Do the math, if you do that 2.5% increase or 120.
You had that in there, Shirley, didn't you?
Yeah, I was adding it up, but I think we're at 105. I think it's really 100. I think the other thing we're not figuring is the field temps paid at a higher rate, $8 per hour.
I'm good.
Kept thinking about it and it made it a little bit more, it's like.
Sorry, she needs a few more.
Yeah.
Not very many, but there might be more.
So I guess that answers our question we had too. The next paycheck. The bridge, that money, we didn't figure that. That's a true.
Well, that,
90,000.
well, I guess that'll, would have been included in he had that figured in. Dennis Runnable, as an example, would have had that figured in his number that he would give us for road bridge.
Right. Do you know when that program got started there?
No, I do not. I was gonna ask Kathy about that, but I guess that's after any given one's done, that's when the time's submitted. That's what I told
Yeah,
him.
and then they get that bonus after bridge done.
Oh, and I did check with Sandy on that too, and yes, those three, she just pays out of that, out of a separate, account number. So all the other road and bridge guys, truck drivers, whatnot, get paid out of the 1,000, and the three bridge guys get paid out of the other. So that total you're seeing is their total wages for that year.
Okay, so that money, that was for the three.
Yeah,
Or actually,
what was it,
100
108?
108,
Yeah,
for
that was
those
for the whole
three.
year for those three
Okay,
employees,
including the bonuses.
including the bonuses. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the guys that were sitting in these two chairs when that was implemented.
Do you know who they were?
I don't, no, that could have been,
I have to.
but in their defense, I mean, those guys are walking around on 8-inch beams over a solid rock creek.
Yeah.
And a lot of things they do is dangerous.
Yeah.
That's probably not costing as much as some of this other stuff.
Seriously. Oh. That's the last monthly bill.
Yeah. Is that, just that? Well, 1.8 divided by 12.
Really?
Well. Okay. Anything, Mary Kay?
No, I think I'm all right, thanks.
Living water in particular?
Yeah, that'd be all right.
Okay.
See if you can make that happen.
So good.
Okay, sick time, department heads?
Yes. So,
You got those two letters from the individuals? Which,
oh, that were the resignation letters. Yeah. Did you need to see them?
I haven't seen them, I didn't want to get into that discussion. I asked a later date.
I was just gonna, we'll just put it in the files and all that.
Question asked is, how many sick days you have? Because upon termination or retirement, that
I
is
can
our
go check
discretion.
and find that out.
That's probably needs to be discussed with us before we make that contract. Is this her final check, those two?
That's what I was gonna look and see.
We might need to have that discussion, get Rich up here real quick. I wouldn't mind having a executive session.
Yeah, both of them, both of their last days were before the end of this pay period. So do those vouchers have anything about that on there?
I didn't see it, but I wanna make sure
It was,
because,
it was Heather
that-
Robinson and Ashley Griffith.
I saw one of them.
Because as far as their regular hour pay, this would be the last check.
Okay.
So I don't
So
know.
I was just making sure if they had like 50 hours or 100 hours, I wanna have that discussion, because I didn't know if there was discretion on how we did
If
that.
they have that much of sick.
Yeah, someone's getting out.
But that should, usually that's on a separate line item on the voucher. Should be getting close to Griffith. So. And I think she was just relieved, so she doesn't have any. 'Cause she was just relieved, I'm pretty sure.
She was part-time.
She wasn't, yeah, she wasn't even part-time.
Okay, so where's the other one?
It was Robinson. So, they don't have it on here. I can go, let me go check with Sandy and just see what her balance is.
Yeah, because in the book it says it would be good
Right,
term
right.
it was on.
But you may not have it.
And that
because
should
it
be up
wasn't
to
done.
our, that'd be up to our discretion. I just want to have that conversation if they do, before it's released. What happened here?
Everything on the same.
Yeah, it's a-
Go back and read that email a little closer. I skipped through.
I was thinking you can't take sick leave. That's overtime.
So they're telling us that we've done our due diligence. Trying to do it, so they don't have to just have to wait for that. Okay, so, the Ashley Griffith was, like I said, was just relief, so she didn't have any sick or vacation. But the other individual, I have the date wrong, her last day is until like the 20-something. She will have another check in September. And this is where she's sitting at for this is where she's at, and on the right here is what she accrues.
I don't remember. I don't think it was.
I don't think it was, I think it was the other one, but I can
Just
ask
to
him.
verify.
Yeah.
I just want to know, just to make sure.
Well, one other person I've asked that doesn't know anything about the section corner thing. Rock doesn't know anything about it.
It's a mystery.
This guy was gone, so we're gonna.
Are you talking about me? Giving me a hard time?
It's caught up now.
Now you're behind.
Overtime at the sheriff's department, I don't know why. It happens every month, it's no surprise.
I don't know what I asked.
I think we come a little high on this. About at 30 grand.
Oh. I think you're right. The controls and.
want to sign my check there.
Yes, this person that has the second vacation is the one that just relocated. And that's why she's, right. And he said if that would ever be an issue of somebody that he,
I think he's understanding what I'm
yeah,
asking. and why I'm asking.
right. But he said he would make sure that they weren't allowed to probably cash out second vacation if that was the case. But that should be then on her next month's voucher.
Okay, all right.
She will be paying past the 21st.
A few of them in there.
Mm-hmm. Call.
I was just seeing who was walking in. Didn't realize you were even out of the room. Sorry, I didn't miss you.
Well, don't go back, because we forgot you were in the room too.
But I was
You
in
just
the
kinda
room or
snuck
out of the room. I
You were
know.
out of the room.
Yeah, sorry, I wanted to check my email quick this morning and I didn't get that done. And then I wanted to try one more time to submit that interim report and still got the same thing.
So it's not a 2-hour process to resubmit it? Okay.
No,
Okay,
it's pretty quick, but
yeah.
I get to the very end and it says only an authorized representative can submit. And I'm like, I am the authorized representative, darn it. We'll get it figured out.
She's been good. See her go.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, really?
Well, did I see it here then? Yeah, it's.
Well, hopefully, yes.
Okay. How's it going?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Good.
This is my son Luke and.
I'm
young
We met.
ladies.
Hi, Miss Heck. How are you?
I think you can call me Betty now.
Oh, is it that time? Really?
Don't you think they're old enough now?
Maybe. Helps me stay young if I say Mrs. Heck.
Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, I've been half waiting on her to push a test across the desk or something.
I was just having a conversation with Abram about English in high school. I think he's got a tough English teacher or something. I told him I had a tough teacher.
You did?
I told him I don't know how I got out of that class.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going, bud?
Heck, how are you?
There's another one.
Did you teach all these people?
I did.
You did? And that's just a
And we're not
start.
supposed to be there.
Yeah. No offense, Betty.
You all
but,
can call me Betty now. You're all way.
I think it's just
Well,
a
that's
respect
been
there.
years, yeah.
Well, I appreciate
That's
it.
So she was a snapper before?
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Still,
Oh, I didn't know.
even if I see Mr. Colmeyer.
She didn't want to say how many years.
I still call Mr. Coleman.
You said you were worried about a test. I was worried about, I had a flashback that my kids were back in school. I'm like, oh no, what they do?
Yeah.
Look at this.
Oh no, they're out of high school. It can't be me.
Exhausted as all.
Well, that's that too.
Because it's 8 hours.
I don't know who tells it.
Who tallies are 60? Oh, you guys keep track of it.
like for a certain department.
Yeah.
Like, well, I know like, a lot of times the department head will, and then they'll constantly check with payroll to see if they match, if they're on the same page.
I know we've asked you about this one before.
But I know with LEC,
So-
Amy does it, she was also checking.
I know that one we've asked you before.
My wife's
Uh,
kind
Don't
of
get fired.
I know one of them just testimony recording about this. I texted him last night to boss. Oh.
Don't really require 8 hours.
That's why I brought a clue, so I don't say make it.
That's what they accrue.
All he does.
It was at one time.
Never showed up for one thing. Oh, okay.
I'd have to go back.
Can't do it, he never
I
showed
think
up.
it was his, might have been his vacation. I don't remember how that one. I had to go back and look at the records. Yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
it just came into my
Do you
mind. I
wanna,
mean,
you wanna look
that's
at
a
it
fair
first and
amount
I'll
of,
tell you?
I mean, that's just a fair amount of hours.
Okay,
Time.
okay. Yeah, I'll have it check. Okay, you wanna stamp it?
Oh, yeah.
And then that way, when I'm done with it, we can put it in the
Yeah,
file.
well, it's,
All we did have this was approved for that, and we did nothing else but 5 o'clock.
Change it.
You got No. Well, here we are. That is not the point. For me, I'm just trying to keep going.
One point is north and south, that's like what?
It's not the point.
That's not G or is it?
No, I was.
H. I'm going. Good. About right there. Like all the other chairs are taken out.
Nobody was.
You wanna sit here and I'll just sit there?
Yeah. Come on.
Just sit right in front of Dylan.
There you go. Got a lot of overtime.
You still have your little pad, take out all the things you need.
I know. That's overtime, I know.
You should leave that in here. Where'd it go? Is it up there? Check up there, so I'm not moving stuff like this. There we go. Hi. Come on in. I got a chair right here, if you want to pull it up.
Can I sit and come for more?
Sure.
I'm gonna go to that.
That's because you didn't.
Sure.
I've never been there.
You seen paint drying on the wall?
Yes.
It's about the same.
Yeah, I've been to those.
the action-packed thriller doing these. Yeah, that's right. New things we really like sometimes.
Well, indicators. Like it's really.
I was looking at that.
Kind of like crazy. You want to say it's clear rules.
I looked at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do need it, I'm sure we'll get us some budget this afternoon. We do need
Right.
All good. Yeah.
I have to delete a lot of stuff, don't worry.
About 2 months. We stopped. I just had to keep up to it. No, I think I got to sit down and like get rid of all my folders. So what's this Marine Sergeant? What's this Marine Sergeant that got fired?
I know they were talking about him on the news this morning. Yeah. So did you get the stuff on the chest? I mean, that's the first thing I saw, like, there's something on his chessboard.
Yeah, no.
Dan was talking about it this morning.
So what I did was I just made you a copy.
Well, and then I'm trying to look at the background, I'm trying to look at the side,
Yeah,
I like on some type of rail car.
This is January, this is where his balances then were.
A year ago, I would never put that much
Well,
thought
and
into
there's-
anything.
Look at February.
I just,
I put quite a bit in February too.
I still can't pick up when my wife gets her hair dyed.
But I think it was done, I think he was back.
They're in a just a closed room somewhere.
Yeah, probably in there before.
That's two of them. That number that out.
Yeah.
You have. Just, I didn't realize it was that. I thought it was a zero.
I was thinking that he went all the way down to zero on vacation, not sick. I'm not even sure going all the way down to zero, close.
This morning I heard too.
So I'm like, well, sure.
Yeah.
And then that can go back to
You've already
January.
stated that.
You've already stated it. Just put it there.
Yeah,
I'll find
okay.
it later.
But I've had
Figure it out later. I'm gonna get rid of these quick.
Hold a chair, Adam. One right there.
people that.
Oh, these?
Yeah, go right ahead. Mine.
Well, we probably ought to save him one.
Boy, getting more people might just have to go down to the courtroom.
Well, I just can't.
Or they have four.
No, no, it's a-
Okay.
Then I wouldn't be in a corner.
Yeah, then you wouldn't be in the corner.
Nobody puts Michael in the corner. I wanted to sit here with you.
Okay.
Everybody got a chair? Chairs?
Well, actually, Brad's about ready to be out of the chair.
Yes.
That wasn't on.
This is the last, you know.
Okay. For sure, we kind of just change that. So it does have something to do well. Well, how about, are you okay if I just say on each room? Are you good enough? I don't know, whatever. I mean, I don't want it to be wrong, but I don't even give,
Didn't he
I don't
get
even give
this
two.
this F and R on his golf can?
Do they do that? Do they give it a number?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can call, I'll call Kathy.
Take a chair.
Said it was
Go in here.
You mind if I keep
I'll
this?
stand right out there, Jim. I've been sitting at 4 foot birdie putt.
Oh, okay.
And before I hit his dad, they got a caddy to help him read their race. Well, he was so excited.
I
for it,
did,
And they're trying
I
to get
did,
to play
right.
golf. He gets up and pushes it right past the wall. I'm just like, well, Dad, I'm trying to play great golf. I'm like, dude, you got a birdie putt.
Just move it
Take
down.
long to
Yeah.
That's so-
It's like par five. And just, he had me in his five with the name.
Well, that's,
Oh,
what's his name?
But he sold, was it an Eagle Bud?
Yeah, he's
Driver, 5 was 30 yards, chipped on.
Hi, Jim.
Hey, man.
I see you guys here.
We're everywhere.
I see you guys here.
We start showing up at library board meetings then.
Is this Kathy? Take care of this right now.
Stuff's getting real.
Listen, you got no good with 11:10 this morning?
And I put,
At the Pavilion School District in
guys are
Omaha,
setting the
police officers were
table
dragging
on
kids out of the school without, they don't wear their masks. Police officers were dragging the kids out of
Yeah,
school.
saying it's actually
Pavilion
on
School
the
District in
trail.
Omaha.
But you didn't know if there would be a.
I've seen some
bridge
videos
number
of how that happened. I
there.
didn't know where it was at.
Okay, with Omaha.
40s this morning.
Oh, my gosh.
Was he that one?
What's
How's it going?
We got one back here.
He said, I'll stay in your
Yeah.
Bye.
Sure.
You guys come over here and sit, I'll stand up in the corner.
Such a gentleman. Luke, you're supposed to get out.
I did.
I tease it. You want us old ladies
We
to
might
sit
be
down?
moving.
Okay.
So when we go and approve those,
Thank you, guys.
you tell me that it is, so it is on H Road, that's
Oh,
the bridge.
yeah.
And
Guess
then
we're
we're
moving
trying
around.
to move that down too. So-
Weird, it wasn't yours.
Before we get started.
We'll see what else.
You need more chairs?
Well,
Get some out of my election room.
if we,
You wanna get chairs or move?
well, I don't know. Let's
We
wait a
can
little
move
bit
if
and
you want,
see what, I mean, if we in fact go to the courtroom.
We saved you one seat.
Oh, great, thank you.
And
And then sit in this chair since window top.
Let's not talk about that.
No.
Okay.
And I-
Then yes, what do we need here?
What about three maybe? Well,
Three.
a couple, two maybe, at least. Here.
Don't do enough?
Well, this
Who
might
came in and sued him and shut him down? That is the.
Thanks.
Probably lives up there.
Yes, main event.
Okay.
I'm the kid in there a couple times. but I never had it. Yeah.
So I have a seat then. Is there a,
Yeah, there's
or
one
two
chair.
there or just
We
one?
could do another
Well,
one.
yeah, we can bring a couple more chairs in.
Yeah.
Right.
There's room for another.
No,
There's more in there.
There's room for another chair here.
Just get it out of the election room then, good.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe 7 to 10.
We have that tucked in there together at one time, but then on the second time.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
small
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
For some reason, yeah, I know, it happens.
Two in college and one who's now involved in football. And so that, it's really well during the summer. Not so bad Easter. Fall.
okay, well, Brad, what do you have as far as general, anything pending from you?
I don't think I have anything.
Yeah, okay. Mary Kay?
I was just, you haven't heard anything from the city of Suffolk yet on that ambulance agreement?
I have not.
That's the only thing I have.
We're kind of in on those minimum maintenance roads. Well, you fill him in, Jason. There's question about
Question
that.
about if we make a minimum maintenance, do they still qualify for FEMA?
And they were having Russell check it.
Russell's
I mean, I didn't see anything in the statute that would impact it, but that's probably a good Russell question.
Yeah, okay. He was gonna look into it.
Yeah.
That being why.
I wouldn't think so, because it doesn't mean no maintenance, it means minimum maintenance.
True, it's still a road.
Damage, it's still a road. If you close a road, it's not, but if it's minimum maintenance, I think it would still qualify.
Cover that.
Is that a new one?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Was it easier just to trace how many feet that are?
March, I mean, you want me to measure all them, or can we go by, there's an intersection there.
I need some measurements, unless those are,
So can you move this?
unless those are exactly the halfway point, which it looks to be, but I would double check that to be sure.
Good if it's,
Yeah.
well, but that one's not gonna be.
Wow, this is like
What township that
2
in?
days worth of work for me right here.
Can't
It's
be
one
over.
map.
Oh, boy.
You wanna get a copy of that? Okay.
Get that wheel down.
Wow. It may be easier just to reside by positions, county council, and come up with a little script. Here for you, perhaps.
I said, if they just paid 120, I wasn't talking about any cap on the road. And
See, I'm pretty sure that's the one you live on.
You like township board.
I use it a lot.
They're all minimum maintenance.
Well, anything else to come before Brad?
I mean, the only thing I would remind you is that as of midnight on Wednesday, we're without a local health officer, so.
Right, well, that's
To take that.
probably where we need to go first. Yeah.
Wait on Mary Kay.
Oh,
She's not at it, man. She's just been like,
If there's no minutes, it didn't happen.
we, yeah, we can't blow our nose without Mary Kay.
There probably is something with elected personnel that does need to be discussed. Executive session, in certain instance,
Okay,
so. Maybe do that first when she comes back and then move forward with some of the other things we have.
yeah, well, I'd say let's talk about the health officer first.
What?
Watch your paint dry.
Yeah, that's pretty much like watching paint dry. We don't get any fireworks. You guys are all in here just telling us we're doing a good job, right?
That's right.
I just want to.
I haven't seen any pitchforks yet. Is there any pitchforks or tar feathers?
You gotta watch that guy.
Bring my pitchforks
Look at that one, the Jason.
Oh, that's what you were doing.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's an odd size, so it's kind of difficult to.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
okay, all good driving. Can we just use like the residence road, like Greg lives there?
I mean, I can use, I gotta have an actual feet.
You want,
I mean, things where it's in an intersection between roads, that would work.
right? But you want me to wheel off from his driveway all the way to the,
Or better yet, from his driveway up to the next.
I can do that, we
intersection.
can just take that off the mile?
Pick the shortest one, yeah. Okay. As long as I have some measure, I can work with that. And down here by Gary Bauer, we used to do that. Here's there, not here necessarily.
That's only one of your townships, by the way, Jason.
I've already done it.
We got like 10 of them?
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. This is Brad's idea, remember?
You're so good at it.
Oh, yeah.
My townships.
I got put on so.
Okay, so Mary Kay's back, local health officer.
So local health officer.
Just a quick update, I did receive an email from my commissioner, they have, Nemaha County Community Health Services has yet to find anybody who would be willing to serve in that position.
I do have a couple individuals I've reached out to, I've yet to hear back from. I do know, we do have one person committed as of September 1st that would fill in for a very short interim position and would require office staff to upset itself.
Would require office staff.
That is if, that's if we can, in the interim of finding a full-time permanent person. That is purely temporary to help support this, so. That individual would be my wife. She's worked in the health department with Jane for many years. She's an RN. She has worked at Stonewall Vale, I was at the hospital, and stuff, so she kind of understands it. She has done the communicable diseases side of it, so she said she'd step up, feel it very temporary. She's hoping less than 30 days, help get us started. I have had other individuals from the community step up and said they would help give support. I think they were looking for so much for money, just help support an individual with getting it going, because we're starting from the ground up with this thing. So,
Yes.
I did look at that multi-county health services. There is some concerns there, presentations in news of what's going on in that community. I know the Atchison County Commissioners are very upset with them right now. I get believe in that issue with them and not coming to commissioners meetings, so that makes me very wary with that route.
And I don't think that's even an option now. Nemaha County Community Health Services has indicated that they do not desire to become a part of Northeast Kansas Multi-County Health Department, that they will remain on their own. And Christina Romine from Northeast Kansas Multi-County Health Department has indicated they're not interested in just providing a local health officer, if for no other reason, because it's so difficult to find someone who's willing to serve in that capacity. I don't know why. A couple of years ago, it wasn't hard to find someone. Now suddenly it's difficult.
So we do have someone to fill that role if need be. So. And in all disclosure, that would be my wife. So just so that's out there, but it's very temporary. I would not take a vote either way. I'd exclude myself from that vote for conflict of interest. That is some individual that has mentioned that she would do it in the interim to help the community out. So.
Then the question is we may appoint a qualified local health program administrator as the local health officer. But if the person is not licensed to practice medicine, surgery, or dentistry, you must still appoint an individual like that to serve as a consultant to direct the administrator on program and related medical and professional matters. So you know, anybody would be willing to
I
serve in that
do.
capacity?
Actually, I had contacted a doctor and he has shown interest, so he is interested in the position. His name is Irving A. Cohen. He's an MD, an MPH, an FACPM, a DFASAM. He was the chief resident at Johns Hopkins University, or hospital, excuse me. He's done things. He's wrote many books. He has a master's in public health, preventative health. This is his resume. So I think this gentleman is very qualified for the position. He has shown interest. So that route is there. So the way I see it, we've got two individuals that would serve. One is going to be on temporary until we find a permanent. This gentleman said he would do it until he got tired of this. Okay. He is a retired doctor from Nemaha, so.
But he is
He
willing to
just-
accept that
Yeah,
one
so
now. So we do have options to take
we do have
in
options.
36 hours.
Yeah, and I figured we could call a special meeting with him because he does have to be approved by the board. I understand we've got to make a vote to approve him and accept him as an advisor, correct?
We would appoint the local health officer. we'd appoint the local health officer, we would then designate this individual as a consultant to direct the local health officer.
I didn't know if we should call a special meeting, have him come up and visit with the other two, get your thought or feeling on them, Gary, Jason, and any of the other guys.
I spoke with a dentist on Friday from a different state. He'd be interested in doing it, but his son was killed in an accident Saturday, and I don't want to call him.
Yeah.
Don't call me.
Do we have any other options?
Well, what happens if we don't appoint somebody? We get KDHE, don't we?
Probably KDHE. I mean, most of what the local health officer would do, statute also authorizes KDHE to do it. So we would probably, my suggestion would be that we notify KDHE that we are without a local health officer. And just notify them so that they can fill in the gaps until one is appointed.
I do know we have 3 individuals that are thinking right now. I did speak to one this morning. That individual is not 100%, but he or she was not against it. So
Okay.
there's still discussions going on with the family. Type of local environment we're in right now, so.
But if we come up with a doctor and a nurse, does that go back under Nemaha County Health Services, or are they gonna be a standalone deal? That's all
It would
together
be,
different.
yeah, it'd be ran by the county.
Okay.
I mean, I presume that Nemaha County Community Health Services is still willing to provide all other services that they were providing. That's what they indicated to us at least.
Right.
And I sent an email to Mark to that effect today. So what they advise is the one service they could not perform was that of a local health officer. And as of this morning, they have yet to find anybody.
So I guess, I mean, if Nikki's in fact willing to step in on an interim basis,
Yeah.
for 30 days, you mentioned, appoint her there, continue looking, there's nothing that says we can't advertise for the position.
Correct.
It'll buy us more time than just a little less than 2 weeks.
Yes.
Notice and kind of throw it out there.
I mean, the odd part is that is the wife of the commissioner, but it sounds like she's very qualified for the position, being RN, having worked under Jane in that agency, performing some of these very same services. And that'll buy us some time to find somebody on a more permanent basis.
But Brad, where the health officer works in conjunction with the Board of Health, who's the commissioners, is that any kind of
I don't see any,
issue?
I don't see any real conflict of interest. I mean, under Senate 40, she's now required to come to the county commissioners before exercising any sort of order, mandating any sort of action, and any action that would be taken, closing anything down, mandating masks, mandating other things, can be reversed by the county commissioners of the Board of Health. So, probably the best you can do would be any action relating to her, probably you abstain from voting on that, would be my suggestion.
Do we get anything from Nemaha County Health Services to get this thing going? Any document, paperwork? I mean,
No, what would have to
Stuff
happen,
that's ongoing and.
the way the statute reads under KSA 65-202, the local health officer must keep an accurate record of all transactions of the office and shall turn over to the successor in office or to the county or joint board of health selecting such officer on the expiration of such officer's term of office, records, documents, and other articles belonging to the office. So what would happen if you were to appoint Nikki as the local health officer? Jane would then turn over all the documents, records relating to the local health officer's duties to Nikki. And I imagine we still have the office over here, which would location where at least Nikki would like to have an office, so she's not operating out of her home, your home?
I would prefer those documents not in my home.
Yes,
I can tell you that. Yeah, we can probably just use that office and everything.
Yeah.
Wherever, unless we can find another spot where it's suitable. Would you say they come over once a week anyway?
I think once or twice a week is all, so I think, having been there before, I think there'd be enough room for.
At least in the interim, until we can find
Exactly.
a different position. I mean, just,
And that'll be a nice trial run, I guess we'll find out if that office is suitable, unless we find somebody more permanent.
I guess for clarification, I did reach out to very, very many doctors in the area.
I was just gonna ask you,
A lot of those. I try to keep them as much as this in the county people.
I think statutorily, it can also be a dentist.
Yes.
And I haven't reached out to any of our local dentists.
I know Martin said that they had contacted doctors in the county to see if they would be willing to serve as a local health officer on a very temporary basis until somebody or a permanent could be found. He said nobody was interested. And they could not find anybody even willing to serve as.
Wonder, did they realize dentists were on that list?
I don't think he contacted Dennis, although I had talked to Martin about dentists being qualified to hold that position.
Okay, so he knew that.
He knew that.
I see, okay. Well, that was news to me when you read that. So
I read it too, yeah.
Yeah.
Any of you guys know anybody wants to be about the officer?
Right now.
No?
Yeah.
Trying to see if maybe your nurses in this room.
Oh, I see two of them.
I no
At
longer
least
have a
two.
license. I don't have a license either.
Yeah, don't give me that.
It's true.
Well,
Purpose.
further discussion on appointing Nikki as an interim local health officer for a period of,
She serves at the pleasure of the board, so it could be an indefinite appointment, and either she can resign if she gets tired of it, or if you find somebody who's willing to accept the position on a permanent basis, you can then
Do it on a-
replace her with the new individual. But the statute specifically says the local health officer, the local health program administrator shall hold office at the pleasure of the board.
Could they have all this going by Wednesday?
I probably not to where she's able to review all the documents and ready to go. I think we'll have to start working on it. I'll notify Martin to have somehow have those records transferred to their Seneca office.
We're just gonna have to dive in, and we're gonna have to find an office staff to help us this year.
Yes.
I did contact KDHE on this stuff to find a lot of rules, because I just didn't know.
Yeah.
In the Kansas area, League of Health Departments, the KAC, KCCA. I came up with some documents, that talked exactly what they did. Now, those were found by state statutes, a lot of departments do more than that, but it's a good guideline to get it going. But like I said, it helps that she worked there for many years.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of understand how to get going with this. And she's gonna need some kind of an office personnel, I can tell you that. To help a little bit, so.
And something else, when I talked to Martin, he said that so much of what Jane has been doing has been delegated by other local health officers to KDHE. Jane was just too committed to her job, thought that it'd be best if she did those things, which is why she's put in so many hours. Even recently, she estimated 50 to 60 hours a week. But even if they were going to find somebody, that local health officer would not be doing all of that. They would turn over to KDHE what they could and have other office staff assist the new local health officer perform his duties. So that's what they were going to do too.
further discussion.
He had a question.
Just
You know, only procedural, like, you asked a question about documentation. Do you need to meet the deadline by just initiating this, or does all the documentation have to be considered?
It says at the expiration of the term, so Jane's term ends tomorrow night at midnight. So midnight Wednesday morning, and in which case I would imagine,
Does anything trigger if you don't have the whole thing complete, or can you just make a decision and you're good to you're in the right direction?
I think they can appoint somebody now to take effect September 1st at midnight.
I'm just getting the deadline.
Exactly. I think the transition would be appoint Nikki effective September 1st at midnight. Her name is Nikki, we probably need, is it Nikki? Nicole, we probably need to appoint her full name. And then to take effect, I think it notify Jane and Martin on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners, and somebody else has been appointed, and the police transfer all records to their Seneca office.
Another procedural question. Do you
Yes.
think we need to do a resolution appointing this or just a motion in the minutes?
I think, I'm not seeing where a resolution is required. I think a motion in the minutes, I mean,
I have
Much
not, I
like-
couldn't find one when Jane was appointed. I've looked through them.
and much like, I mean, when you appoint Betty, do you pass a resolution to appoint Betty as the
We do,
appraiser?
we do,
We do?
So,
Their contract, yeah.
every 4 years.
so it's, I don't think it's necessary. If you want
Well,
to,
we
you
didn't
can.
do it with Adam, though.
No, we do
No,
not.
I don't think there's a resolution appointing these as county council.
I'm just asking so that, you know, we're
I
all on
don't
the
see
same
where-
page.
I don't see where it's necessary. As long as there's a motion, second, and passes, and then it's included in the minutes.
Well, when we find somebody to take it on a permanent basis, we could at that time.
You could at that time,
Yeah. As far as the interim thing, I don't think it's necessary.
Would it make it easier for you to find that several years down the road if it was an actual resolution, not just in the minutes?
Mhm.
So we may consider.
Because I can search minutes, but I kind of have to know the year that it was done. So otherwise I'm looking forever, you know, I'm putting in different years and having it search
Yeah.
for keywords, yeah. But yeah, I think when we name the permanent one, if we could do a resolution.
Doesn't Nikki need to be here?
I don't think she has to be, but I can call her here later on if need be.
We need to discuss pay with her. I mean, I don't know what.
Yeah, you probably need to. Once again, I'll abstain from that one. So maybe between you two, you guys decide. So that's if she wants it. Hey, you got to talk to her. So. I'm already sleeping on the couch.
So she gets that, Jane received that formula grant and the matching grant. And then her board,
Well, there's a lot of grants we can get, but we need to get Nancy on that for the health department. There's a lot of state match with the county.
right, I'm just thinking about where to start with Nikki.
That's right.
Offering her,
If we can't
Kind of where they're at.
piggyback on, for lack of a better term, of it, you know, county health services, and you're starting off from scratch, all the stuff getting in line for your grants and everything that's paying for that program before.
And a lot of that is will continue to be formed by maybe grants, the state formula grant, that'll still be due by county community health services.
right,
And what we paid them under the old agreement and the new one that was proposed, 90,000 for health services, 8,000 for health officer. And then we did the in-kind rent of the office space, but
And I think that 90,000 included that formula grant.
it did.
So otherwise I think.
The
it's
state
just-
formula grant was 12,000, the county match was 78,000.
Sounds right.
But the 8,000 for the county health officer, that was for back when the county health officer didn't have a whole lot to do, which is now very different.
so if we would base this on 30 days,
Might buy us some more time because of the three individuals. submit to me one way.
Right, sure, but I'm just, prepared to make a motion for such, but I'd also like to include dollars.
And again, I don't think she would be an employee of the county, so there would be no benefits attached, it would be just
I think it'd be a contract amount.
a contract amount. Or essentially, you can start with the month of September, and I would say monthly, so that we don't have to address this again every month.
Yeah. Right.
So monthly amount.
So we just did that formula grant plus the matching thing, that's 20 a year.
I'm not sure what you're asking.
Well, I'm just adding those two together, that
But
would
if you-
change salary, but
If you add the county match to the county health officer, $86,000 on a monthly basis, $7,166.
Also against that.
well,
Just on an intern basis.
yeah, right.
Sometimes the psychology goes to money. You wouldn't say that if you were hiring somebody else.
Yeah, maybe I should.
You put those people on check. It's not gonna be easy to be intern.
Well, it's like any job, you don't walk in where everything's all set up nice and you just hit the ground running. It'll take a lot of work to review files, figure out where they're at, figure out what they need to be doing. And probably, in many respects, setting the position up for whoever will take it permanently. Figure out what they have to be doing, what they don't have to be doing. So this is not an easy task.
And then.
I mean, on a
You
budget
gotta hire-
basis,
You gotta hire, office help too on top of that. You're not gonna pay two people out there $7,000.
what, do we send Nemaha County Community Health Services a check each month? Do we pay them one lump
It's a
sum?
month, right?
Yeah. So what is the amount of the check that we send?
So the way the formula grant works is that comes on a quarterly basis. When we get the check from KDHE, then we just deposit it and turn around and submit it to,
And that's the
Nemaha County.
$12,000
Yes.
check, so we get that
and that's
$3,000.
quarterly.
Yeah.
So it's 3,000 a quarter.
So, and that would still be sent to them, I presume.
Yes, I would think.
Okay.
Well, I'm thinking Christina over there would be a wealth of information for, she's been in that office.
So are we still required then to provide the county match directly to Nemaha County Community Health Services, that $78,000? Because they indicated to us that they would not need any funds directly from the county.
I don't think they do. I think that's just. We're gonna need those funds for help.
What we pay on a monthly basis, that includes the 78,000 plus the 8,000 for health officer together, and then break that out monthly is probably the same thing you just calculated, 7,166.63. And then like I said, that 3,000 is paid quarterly with the state formula grant.
So I'm guessing that we need not to send that check to Nemaha County Community Health Services next month, which will free up that amount of money. And just throwing this out
Are
there.
you talking about the 7,000?
Correct.
Okay. So I'll have to make sure that we don't do that for September without checking.
So if you were to keep this budget neutral, if you set the initial salary at $7,000 a month, that would be not salary, but contract. You can go to $7,166.67, but maybe easier just to make that an even number.
here, but wonder, you were mentioning office help. Yeah. And assistant. Okay.
Then you maybe hold some of that back if you want to also be able to.
Or if you just get it all together and make it her probably find her own help when she wants to pay.
Do that too, just leave it straight in the contract.
Leave it
Yeah.
at $7,000 and she's gotta find her own help and her own wages out of that.
Because she can contract their own life, so.
I keep someone off. Keep someone off. Keep the benefits roll, hate to say it, but it keeps.
Well, this, yeah. I mean, that individual would be strictly somebody that'd be on an interim basis also.
Right, and then if they want to stay with the county, we can roll them over.
Right.
Yeah, we're just looking at temporary here.
Right.
We may- Because Nikki may tell us that once she turns everything over to KDHE, once everything's set up, she says, listen, this really is a full-time position. This is really something that requires somebody 10 hours a week. Which is likely to change down the road too, as COVID changes. But I would plan on this being, I mean, it's not gonna go back to the way it was before.
3.5 years.
Even 3.5 years, yeah. Until January 2025. But this at least gets us down the road. It fills the gap that we're gonna have Wednesday morning.
Starting Wednesday.
Yes.
Brad, you had said until she rolls this over to KDHE at the end of 30 days, but is the goal though to roll it over to another health officer?
Exactly. When I say rollover, I'm talking some of the duties that Jane has been performing,
Okay.
which I think KDHE has been performing for other counties.
But you said it's indefinite, you know, it's not limited to 30 days. It's hoping that she gets something soon.
He's making the appointment and this funding and exactly, and then she serves at the pleasure of the board until somebody else would be found or until she would resign. May happen first. These are no-
Well, I'll make a motion to approve hiring Nikki, Nicole Kime for 30 months. Whoa.
She may not like
Why
that.
she's not here. 30 days.
Well, doing appointers for 30, I'd say just appoint her as the local health officer now.
I see, leave that out.
Leave that out.
Okay,
Just
thank
appoint her now, that way you don't have to come back every 30 days when we do this.
Appoint her as the local health officer at a salary of $7 a month. That would include an office assistant hired by her at her discretion.
Yeah, and be appointing her with the contract rate being $7,000 per month for services provided. And I think the only other thing the county's giving is probably the office space here in Midtown, or the Pioneer Building. Is that what you're?
Yes, thank you.
So Gary, here's what I have.
That's a big.
Gary Scobie moved to approve hiring Nicole Kime to serve as the Nemaha County Local Health Officer at a contract rate of $7,000 per month. Does it need to say interim somewhere?
I don't think it needs to say interim, I think probably appoint as opposed to hire, however.
Fine.
And so that, you draft a contract, I'm sure, Brad, and in that, you would have her getting an office assistant at her discretion, or where,
I could draft a contract, I don't think it's necessary.
I see, okay. Well, does that need to be in the motion, I guess, is what I'm asking.
I think the motion just needs to be appoint her with compensation set at $7,000 per month. And understanding that she's required to contract for all other support that she needs. county will provide her office space to your building to perform her duties.
Okay.
So you put that part in the minutes
I would say
with
yes.
the understanding that she will contract with any additional
Staff,
staff needed.
yes. You want to read that back now?
Yeah, yeah.
Jason
Sorry.
Jason knows what the motion is on the table?
Are you confused?
I'm ready.
Gary Scobie moved to approve appointing Nicole Kine to serve as the Nemaha County Local Health Officer at a contract rate of $7,000 per month, with the understanding that she will contract with any additional staff needed.
I'll second that motion.
Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, same sign?
One present.
Just, yeah.
And you abstained from
President.
that? Is that what you're saying?
2-0 with one abstention.
2 aye and 1 abstention.
Would you like me to notify Martin and Jane of the new appointment? Then we can arrange for the transfer of the documents and records to the Senate office.
I would say so.
You don't think we need any kind of, legal document with Nikki though? I mean, like, this is good enough, we don't be giving enough.
Next step, do we need to have a special meeting with this doctor to meet with him publicly, or?
I
you
think
guys
you
wanna
either
have
do that-
conversations about his resume?
Isn't that up to Nikki though? I guess we gotta.
No,
We gotta.
no,
yes. I mean, that guy's got enough letters behind his name. I don't know that I need to talk to him.
I think if you designate him as a consultant, is all you need to do. I think you need to be a motion to designate him as a consultant.
But that's the same way he serves at our convenience, and if you want to get rid of him next week, we can.
Yes, exactly. But technically, you can't.
Sure.
appoint some
Yeah, I
other
can show him
doctor.
if somebody wants to see this. Everybody else would like to see it.
Well, since we have exactly one doctor who's willing to serve as a consultant, just doesn't mean he's
I don't think we got too many choices.
doing it all. Yes.
Conversation I did have with him, I did speculate that there would be compensation, and I did mention, compensation $1,000 a month to be an advisor. Which he would entertain the offer of that. I didn't tell him it would have to pass the board. I can't guarantee anything, but more likely with the climate that we're in, I'm surprised he didn't ask for more. Or at least not that big. Is there any kind of advisory role as a doctor? Especially when we couldn't get any doctors in the county to do it, so.
Right.
I think Cornelius being compensated anyways, through that contract, one more time, I don't know exactly what.
I don't.
Well, I don't think he is. You know Mary Kay?
Not through us.
Not through us.
Oh, not to us. Could
No,
be.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah, okay. You're right. I stand corrected. He could have been through the other.
So,
However,
we
that-
compensated through us if we get anything like that.
I'd probably say that would come through us, because it'd be a full-time, we're gonna appoint him for at least a year. Take this-
Well, once again, he serves at the pleasure of the board as well. So,
we can
Do
do
we
it
have
at
to,
the
do we
time.
have to do it in here, and we just let it be somebody?
Well, we can just leave it at our pleasure,
Leave it open-ended.
just so much fun, just leave it at that. Whatever reason he wants to,
do we reappoint Jane every year? Or do we just, I don't think we did. I think we signed that.
No,
we
contract.
just-
that contract always stated that they would provide someone to serve as the officer. That was in their contract, but we did not reappoint.
I don't think we ever specifically designated Dr. Canada. I think that was something that.
Not that I remember. I don't recall that, ever doing that.
That involvement nonetheless is minimal, is it not, the way I understand it?
I think it,
I mean, I can't say for sure, because it's
Yeah,
all
I
new.
don't
You know what I
know
mean?
either.
And we could find out pretty quick if it's
exactly.
awfully minimal, we might, like, if you go just one, we can say,
talked to our health officer for 15 minutes the last 5 months. We want to renegotiate this. Doesn't, find someone else.
Yeah, this is subject.
We just need to get going. We're kind of in a hot spot.
Right.
Stuff thrown in our lap, so.
Well, I guess the current one is going after tomorrow too.
It's my understanding he's no longer willing to serve that capacity.
Yeah.
That's through Mark Mishra.
Like I said, we're not in the best spot right now, so. I think we're, with all the PhDs and letters, like you said, behind that gentleman's name, I think he's, that's probably what we can.
You personally
Whether we
talked
like it
to
or not, but, yeah.
Well, and this individual has no direct authority. It is
Right.
merely someone with whom our local health officer can consult on professional matters.
I think he's got a master's in public health, specifically in public health. He's got his degrees in preventative care. This, if you guys saw it, he's got 2 pages long, this stuff. So,
Yeah.
I think he's even had mental health and psychiatrics, a degree in that. So, anyway. That's where I was at with him, you know.
And he's agreed verbally to you to accept the position, if you will.
Yeah, I told him I would have to bring it to you too.
What is his name?
It's Irvin A. Cohen.
Very good, very good.
And if you want to write all the letters behind his name, make sure you got it right. I'd pay like to say that.
More letters than you got,
I don't have to put all that in.
Yeah, he's an even KU grad. He's got a degree in KU, man. Just along with all these other places. I was surprised usually doctors don't talk to you very long, especially on a Saturday evening when you just happen by chance to call him. And you have like an hour conversation. It's very interesting. Pretty intriguing individual.
It's a pretty impressive resume.
Yeah, we got to the second page.
Oh my goodness. He's published a lot. He was a sergeant in the U.S. Air Force, active duty for 4 years. Lieutenant Colonel in the New York Guard.
And he lives in Topeka, is that what you said?
He's been in private practice of medicine. He was.
He just like recently retired the last month or 2. I'll make that motion. I'll make a motion to approve Irving A. Cohen as an advisor to a public health official with compensation of $1,000 per month. Until the commissioners decide to, at our discretion.
I'll second it.
Further discussion. This individual becomes a pretty well-paid guy.
I got a feeling he's gonna earn every day. So,
You're taking $1,000 a month, is that?
12 a year, 1,000 a month, that's 1,000 a month. He said we can always negotiate later on down the road if you want. If it disappears for our health officer, we can visit with him or her, or how much time they're really setting.
And just to let you know, I just did a Google search just to see if there's anything out there like that. I'm not seeing anything.
How do you spell his name?
Cohen,
And the first name is Irvin,
Irving, IRVING.
with a G on the end.
Yes.
Okay, Dylan, what I wrote there was Dylan County moved to approve appointing Irving Cohen to advise the local health officer at a contract rate of $1,000 per month. And Jason Cook seconded the motion.
Yeah, and then, I don't know if you want to put his letters behind him.
I'll
Is
do
there-
it.
You can put that in the official minutes if you want to do it.
How many is there?
What?
Oh, it's not as bad as
There's a
that.
lot.
I thought it was gonna
It's
be
just
like
the alphabet, Mary
2
Kay.
full lines or something.
Guess I wish I knew what they were paying Canaley. If anything.
I did ask, and I didn't get answers. Yes, that's probably. Yeah.
Yeah, well, again, we're setting the bar pretty high about any subject, somebody else. I guess we don't have to do that.
What's that?
If somebody else, some local guy does in fact present themselves.
Yeah, if they want to step up and get them approved, like I said, we ended it in the month, we'll move on. So,
And if we were to find somebody local willing to serve as the local health officer, they may have a connection to a local physician or dentist.
somebody
They would be willing to serve in that capacity. But what I'm finding online is, it's published on COVID-19.
A 30-minute conversation.
Pardon me?
A 30-minute conversation with the doctor,
Yeah.
would be $500.
Consultant for that kind of guy for $1,000. Plus, I like the fact that he's retired. He potentially doesn't have policies.
Yeah. The hustle and bustle.
He doesn't have to like that.
Well, once again, we kind of need somebody.
Fingers can't be choosers, Gary.
I don't know why
That's where we're at right now.
Technically, we can't appoint Nikki without a physician also appointed to consent to have.
Oh, we
She has
can't, so we can't go without one.
Right.
I see.
She's an RN, she feels like
Either
that, she has to have.
I didn't know that. I thought, can we live by without anybody for a while? Further discussion.
Your wife, Joe.
Further discussion. Motion on the floor with support. Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Pose same sign. Motion carried. I'll let you contact him, Dylan, if you would.
I'll contact him, see him
If he
now.
would like to come up, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Well,
You can come up for a meeting one.
Yeah.
Visit if you want, or come by.
introduce him to our new health officer.
I'll have to make a phone call.
Okay.
Okay, looks like those issues are resolved.
Okay.
What else?
One thing I would like, is everybody here for the same thing? Or is it different stuff?
I haven't been on these, but I had one question. I told our superintendent today that if you call me to quarantine my kid, I'm not applying. I will drop my kid off at school next day as long as they look healthy. What kind of ramifications as a parent can I get into?
Okay, so hold that. I would like an executive session on non-elected personnel specifically. With some individuals that contacted in the position.
So what's that?
And I need an executive session.
Non-elected personnel.
In the hiring of non-elected personnel.
Hiring non-elected personnel.
And I'd like the county attorney to attend.
You want to
Be
be here as
present. I
well?
want you present.
Okay. How long?
10 minutes. So till 1 o'clock,
Are you making that motion, Bill?
I am making that motion.
That reason for an executive session passed the Secretary of State.
Yes.
Okay, good.
How many minutes was
I
it?
already know.
10 minutes.
10 minutes till 1 o'clock?
That's what we have.
Yeah, sorry guys, you gotta leave. Give us 10 minutes. They were back in.
No.
Someone second that?
Oh, all in favor, aye? Aye. Pose same sign. Thanks, Kathy.
You're not effectively a government entity.
Right, so.
The county then get the grants.
Couple more minutes. I'll get the
Right, we
camera.
can apply for our own grants in our own.
Okay, we're shutting off or closing here for an executive session until 1
We
PM.
spend $80,000 in our health department, save me, it's gonna give us no aid match.